So this Cobb gave you one little bit of leniency, and that just convinced you that it was the time.
I was 36 at the time. I hadn't gotten the Tupac Masters yet. I got Tupac Masters around 38. And the fact that he could have, I would have been done. That would have been my third strike. Buying a gun, you know what I mean? Even though I was like, oh, but if they watched the transaction, they watched me pull. Note to self, thugs, do not hand cash if you're a felon to a white girl, a black girl, an Asian girl, nothing, because you just did the transaction when you hand her the cash.
Right.
If she wants a gun, let that bitch buy it and you wait outside, or just don't be there, period. But he woke me up, and Judge Yadanga, Rosemead, California, where I'd keep reporting to, he finally, I gave my number back, and he said, you have been in front of me for the last 9 years. What are you doing here?
Right.
And that's when life started changing. And then it just, you know, the Tupac Masters, I started buying catalog. I own Bruno Mars catalog, not his catalog, but I own catalog from him. I own Neo catalog. I own Rick Ross catalog. I own 50 Cent catalog. You can't make this shit up. Look at my records. There's, you know.
We got to talk about all that, but I got to just take a piss break real quick. I'm going to be right back. All right. Give me 1 minute. All right, so tell me about buying catalogs and how this works. How you got into this game.
Look, now I got at him now. I never bought catalog. Anybody that knows the story, which again I've told this when you easily go to my YouTube page. If you go to Molly Mall's page, Molly Mall from Hip Hop, whatever the fuck that show is, Steve interviewed him, and I forget what other, somebody else interviewed him, and he said, cat from 60s named Kaz, blah, blah, blah. The Tupac thing, won't get into the story, just say that I became in possession of it.
I'm making you give me that story sooner or later.
Well, it's me and you.
Okay.
But it's out there, Go to that fat pig Reg, the cop. He'll deny it all. But I was in possession, 9/10 of the law's possession. This catalog was already supposedly sold and never turned in. Now I'm holding on to it. The part that always blows me away is when people are like, that nigga, Steve Lobel was with me when we sold the rights back to Interscope. Anything that belonged to Koch, because before Koch became E1, they were Koch. And they gave Shook $10 million for the Pac catalog, and he didn't turn it in. And then they were saying Daz had it. No, I had all of it. I didn't just have Pac, I had all of Death Row. I still to this day have Lisa Left Eye Lopez last album.
But you got it, like physically got it.
It is in my...
And that is enough to justify you owning it?
It's enough to say that whatever is not... here's how it works. This keyboard. If somebody can't show you the original blueprints for this keyboard, but they do know somebody else made it, but you're in possession of it, you didn't steal it because they can't prove they have the patent or the blueprint. So 9/10. Well, if they want it back, they can either try to make another one, but they know this is the Masters.
Right.
And you put a price on it. So what I did, I knew I could never put out the stuff that belonged to Interscope. I could never put out the stuff that belonged to Koch. So I sold it back to him. I didn't give it back to him. And literally before we left New York, Steve Lobel was with me when he called someone from Interscope and we cut the check and it was in my account later that day while I was still in New York. Koch, I was already in New York and did the deal with them. And since then, I ended up meeting with Molly because I didn't know what to do with it after that. I was like, the fuck am I doing with this?
Yeah.
Steve got in touch with Molly. When I say Steve Lobel, Sean Kingston, Molly Bone Thugs and Harmony. I had a ranch out in Arizona at first, and she comes out with a cop. He's off duty, her bodyguard or whatever. And you have to understand, I've owned the Tupac I've been in possession of the Tupac Masters now since 2007. Mm-hmm. I still have not gone through all of it. That's how much work this dude would do.
Wow.
And she showed up with like this holy grail of all the masters. Because Pac would do 4 versions of every song. Mm. So she's going through it and she's looking at my stuff. Because I'm not going to go through it and get back to me. Literally, it took 3 days. They were in town. Till she realized, no, this is it. These are those tapes that people were talking about that were at the death row office that were not turned in. And that's how it started.
Right.
Now, Bruno Mars, anybody else, if someone produced for MC Pookie before he became Big Pookie, well, that dude probably ain't got no money no more, but he got those old songs. Mm. He might be trying to do a deal here and there, but I got cash right now.
Right.
So the Bruno Mars came about. Somebody hit me, said, hey, man, this dude used to work. And I bought those. This dude had some Neo stuff. The Rick Ross came about because I knew a cat in Jacksonville, Florida that had Bootsy Badass, Webby, Rick Ross. What's the kid that died over the fucking candy? He was Waka Flocka's right-hand man.
Oh, Slim Duncan.
Yeah, I had his whole cat. Still to his dad. So his mom kind of pulled it. I could fight it and win, but it's like, yo, dude's dead. Right. You know what I mean? I don't need no money off that.
So have you run into a situation where artists are upset about you owning some percentage of their catalog?
Nah, because if anything, shit, be happy that I'm putting your stuff out. They still get their royalties. I don't. There's no dirt bagging me in that at all.
Right.
I've ran across an artist that said, "Oh, I don't want that stuff out." I went, "Well, I don't give a fuck what you don't want out. I'm putting it out." And there was nothing you could do about it. I got cease and desist once in this whole time.
By who?
I got cease and desist, but we fixed it. Okay. You know what I mean? Actually, I'll tell you, Selecto hits it.
Okay.
And I own some very, very, very well-known. There's only a few big artists out in the South in Memphis. So just kind of put 2 and 2 together. And
okay.
And it was this Crip nigga. It was never like this businessman. And
that'll follow you forever.
Oh, till I'm fucking 9, if I make it to that. But they cease and desist. And the way it works, what people don't understand, when you do a cease and desist, they pull everything off. You're proven guilty first.
When you're talking about what, like the streaming companies?
Yes. iTunes, Snap. Well, back then it was just iTunes. And it was it was distributors, So if Navarre Distribution, who's the buyer who does all the shipping out to all the stores, gets a cease and desist, well, they'll contact Selecto Hits and say, hey, man, this dude is... saying that belongs to him. Until you show up with paperwork, you're fucked.
They're terrified of the
You're not
lawsuit,
getting that check. Yeah, you're not getting that check. And you're the best artist. I could not get a check back then. And when that happened, I had to start being more careful. Because, again, if you catch an MC Pookie and he broke, but Spice One was one of the first cats I started cashing out.
Really?
And Spice didn't trip. It was another label that he had did a deal with, and they said that music was supposed to belong to them. In the end, I still won, but it still stopped my money for about 6 months. You know what I mean? So I get cats like, yo, Cass, can you teach me the catalog game? There's no catalog game. That's not shit you're going to do today. You know what I mean? I just have enough catalog to last me forever.
Wow.
You know what I mean? You have to forget. I mean, Rick Ross toured with us, and it was us, Mac 10, Bone Thugs and Harmony, Mac 10, Rick Ross, and Young Jeezy. I have a shitload of Young Jeezy.
Really?
Shitload.
Oh. It's an interesting thing, though, because it's like music has a value, but that value tends to go down over time besides certain artists where it then tends to rise over time. And it's like, if you own a bunch of Young Jeezy, it's like the time to own it was probably 2006 when his run started, but it's still.
But that would have been the most dangerous time because now everybody's independent and understanding. Like if you do a mixtape, you giving it out for free, that's public. So how you gonna say somebody can't make money off it when you gave it away for free? I never did that, but I know labels that did do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Smaller independent distributors. It's easier now because I don't have, all I do when I fill out I'm distributed by Ingrooves, Universal, and Empire. I have a deal over there with Ghazi also. So you have a deal. Did you have a deal? No, you were somewhere else.
I was with Atlantic for a while. I got a new thing now.
So if you get to the bottom when you're submitting, it always says withhold royalties. Click yes. Because if you click fucking no, that artist can hit you and you're fucked. You're not going to see that check for a while, if you ever see it. So I make sure I put that person's name, and it's BMI or ASCAP's job to find them. It's not my job. So that's what I've been doing. This new thing I'm doing, literally, there's two of the biggest outlaw motorcycle sports bar in Cave Creek. I ran into this cat that was singing some Sublime song, big old swole Peckerwood, and he's singing these Sublime songs. I'm like, yo, who the fuck is this dude? Find out he's the owner. When Nipsey passed, I said, man, I want to do this song. You sing, can you come sing the hook? And I didn't know he rapped. And I never thought about coming out of retirement. It's like you asked me if I moved back from Arizona. And I was like, nah. And we went in the studio, and we left like the Nipsey joint, The Wrong Way, Kick Up. We did 3 songs in one day. He's one of those cats that he's well off, I'm well off. We could do it because we want to, not because we have to. And they were like, what are we going to call ourselves? And again, me, Lazy Bone, and Red from Booyah Tribe had the Head Knockers. We only did 1 song, so I've always owned that name. I was like, Head Knockers, you big old white boy, ride bikes, and I do it. And videos out, sent it to you. Singles doing amazing, and it's fun. Do I want to get back into the music business? Fuck no. I don't think I ever want to perform. If it can make him money, because he's one of those cats that he was from a small town in Arizona, very talented. This motherfucker was singing Purple Rain, and I almost lost it. Like, nigga, you big ass just hit them notes. But it's my man KP. But go to Cave Creek and see that it's a multi-million-dollar 2 different bars that are, you know how you got Coyote Ugly?
Right.
Imagine 2 of those right next to each other, and they're both packed to capacity.
And you own those?
No, he does.
Oh, he owns
yeah.
them. Okay.
My place is called Beers and Wings. Let me know. Give me a holler. It's on Roscoe and Winnetka, right here in
I love wings, and I'm willing to make a comeback to the beer game. Sure, why not?
Brother, I'll send you the link to the commercial, but we're right there on the corner of Roscoe and Winnetka. I've had it 7 years. You ever have tax problems? Invest in a restaurant.
Really?
Yes. You will never make a dime, but you will fix your tax problems.
Really?
Yes.
Because you have a million expenses?
Toothpicks, napkins. You know what I mean?
Right.
The toilet tissue, everything's a tax write-off. But that's what's made this new group Head Knockers, and the single Wrong Ways out. Real One in the Sky comes out June 10th. Rolling 60s, we celebrate Hood Day on June 10th, 10 and the 60.
Okay.
So the single comes out then. And it just feels good, man. You know, other than that, I pick and choose when I want to put some catalog out. But like this, Beatles, new Beatles. There's no fucking such thing as new Beatles. But they luckily always find a couple new 2 songs.
Right.
Then they put 8 more remastered and re-digitally mixed. Well, real music connoisseurs, man, I need that. You know what I mean?
But it's crazy because, like, for a long time, there was tons of new Tupac records coming out or old Tupac verses that they would stick on a song with somebody else. You don't see a lot of that now.
Well, they've kind of put it, the Pac's Life album, that all came from me.
Okay.
That's the one that Nipsey was on.
So there's certain projects where they came to you and said, we want to do this project, we need songs, and then you let them explore the catalog? Yeah.
That's how it always works. I'm sure I'll be meeting Molly. I can tell you with 1,000% guarantee, I'm probably in possession of at least, just for me and her last meeting a few years ago, no less than 100 more unreleased songs.
Wow.
Pac would go into the studio, and as long as he had weed and whatever else he did, this guy would just say, turn the beat on. Like, I was the first person to hear Let's Get It On with Grand Poobah, Biggie, Pac, and Heavy D and Smith & Wesson.
Jesus.
I'm still in possession of that.
Wow.
And it's not like he didn't. No, they were all in studio together, and I still to this day have that single.
Holy shit!
You know what I mean? That's because it don't belong to nobody.
Right.
It's in my possession. You know, people ask me, will I ever sell the Tupac Masters? I don't know. You know what I mean? It's look at all my records. I'm the only guy. Do you know I'm the only artist in history that has a song with Biggie and Pac on it?
Really?
If you pull up the Just Blaze beat, I Am, that me and E40 did, I put an unreleased Biggie and unreleased Pac. Name me one other artist that has that.
Wasn't there like a Big L song, or there was some song with Tupac and Biggie back in the day, wasn't there? I'm forgetting.
When he was doing the One Nation. Now, he was dead by then when Pac was doing One Nation. Nah.
Well, I felt like they did like a posthumous Big L Tupac Biggie record, or maybe I'm thinking of something else.
No, you're thinking right, but it's a remix.
Okay,
it's a remix. Well, mine is a remix, but I'm talking cleared. I'm alive. I'm the only person that has that. You know, I got a joint with Slash from Guns N' Roses because our booking agent was Jamie Adler, Steven Adler's brother from Guns N' Roses.
Wow.
I'm in Sweden. Me and Slash met. We did a joint together. I've done some things that most motherfuckers be like, wow. And for me, it was like, all right, that was cool. But the Tupac stuff, I don't want to, even though I didn't like him, even though I wasn't a fan of his, I don't want to demoralize his name by just throwing bullshit out. If every 2 or 3 years, I'll take one song and put it on something. The Bruno Mars, Baby, Can't Come Back to Me. It's Lazy Bone and Bruno Mars. I've only done one Bruno Mars. I got about 13 more songs done. I mean, left that are unreleased.
Right.
But the Tupac stuff, it's usually I get a call from Molly. She say, we're working on something. Can I come see you? And that's it.
Right. You think Bruno Mars knows about you or gives a shit?
No, when we had, I had to go to litigation on his stuff.
Right.
And I won, you know, because it was a producer that was unpaid, and I paid the producer. But when I first was cease and desist, they didn't cease and desist me on the song. They cease and desist me, said I couldn't. His name's not Bruno Mars.
Right.
You know, some other crazy ass shit. They said I couldn't use it. In the end, I won because I could use it.
Right.
You know, so it's little silly stuff
That's
like that.
the record industry game, is to throw somebody in court and assume that they're going to tap out before you, right?
I got the original version for Real One in the Sky. I won't make this producer famous. He originally did the beat. He gave me the beat in 2009. It was a Stevie Wonder, Ribbon in the Sky. I was going to call the song Crippin' in the Sky. Yeah, I mean.
I like where your head is at, though. Make everything gang-related and it'll sell.
Yeah, but that was my mind state. And
that's how it is on YouTube, too, for the record, is that I could post a video about anything. If you got Crip or Blood or Hood or somebody's neighborhood or whatever, motherfuckers are watching that shit.
Oh, they love it.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and
it could be somebody nobody has ever heard of, but if it's so-and-so talks about the Crips, blah, 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 they're clicking.
Because now it's become a household name. It's like, you know, when you saw on Disney characters Crip walking. If you don't knock it the fuck off. but I had the beat. We made the video. The original video has this kid's track on it. When we went for the clearance, Joe Beth Music, which is Stevie Wonder, wanted 100% of the public. I'm sorry, they wanted 100% of the song, the music, even though he put beats over it. So that meant take his publishing and take 100%, you know, Stevie's. And then they wanted 50% of the writers.
Wow.
So that's me and KP. So that leaves 50% left. And the producer was like, well, fuck, what am I? You know, we're like, well, I'm giving up all my proceeds to a charity anyway for the Nipsey song. Well, the producer decided, I'm giving the beat to somebody else. I wouldn't give a fuck who you giving it to. It's been in my email since 2009. The video went up. I got, YouTube. I got what is it? You get a check or you get a
copyright claimed, yeah.
Yeah. But this was like you're getting your first, you know, and you get 2 more, you're through vote. And I'm like, what the fuck? But I called. First it was like, you know, I didn't have a phone number. I'm like, cuz on Crip, you bitch ass, you know, and I realized, look at what I just did. I just brought that stupid ass gangbanging into it. And I stopped, I went, whoever you gave this to, which I know who he gave it to, I said, this dude ain't gonna never fucking put a song out. But you getting caught up in the sauce thinking it'll happen. This is out. Nope. I'm sitting at my clubhouse Sunday night. And I get an email from YouTube saying the song's been reinstated, blah, blah, blah. I deleted it and put a whole different remix on there. Because now you can't make nothing. If I was a dirtbag, I would have kept it. But it was like, I don't want it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I still would have had to pay Stevie Wonder. So my man Shorty, this cat, Latino cat from the South, does that, what's the music they call in the South? What they
Snap music? Who are you talking about? Shorty Love?
No, not Shorty.
Shorty Red?
Nah, he's a new kid.
Oh.
New kid. His name's Shorty. Bad little motherfucker. And a Red Rag and a Blood. Okay. You know, turned his life around, working kid, but he's in Atlanta, I think. He just found me on YouTube. Was like, yo, can I sing you a beat? And now he's got a hit, you know, a big song on the radio now. You know what I mean? So it's a game like that. The whole thing is to be careful. Don't get cease and desist. You know what I mean? Because Spotify and iTunes will not fuck with you anymore. And complain all you want about streaming, but that's where those checks really come from.
Yeah.
I make more off streaming than I do off iTunes.
Yeah.
You know, you've experienced that.
Yeah, well, nobody buys music online digitally anymore. It's all streaming shit, yeah.
And, you know, whether if it does 1 billion streams and you get $1 million off that, be happy.
Yeah, because, I mean, you hear all the time people complaining about how much they make off Spotify. I'm sitting down with rappers. They're talking about I get 1 million plays on Spotify and make fucking 6, 7, 8 grand. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, how are you going to complain about that?
Like, what'd you have before then?
Yeah.
I always tell the record business story when cats are like, man, that's my music. I believe in this. Well, if you got a weed habit, you just fucked off half your chance right then and there. Because you could be promoting your own music. By the time, let's say, because there are no record companies left, but let's say Motown comes knocking and they give you a $10,000 advance, then the rest goes towards the record and shit like that. You have $10,000 for the 7 years you've been trying to get put on. Jose at Jack in the Box has made that 4 times. So, like, how are you complaining? The game is so easy now. I was taught, there's a company in Arizona called 101 Distribution, owned by Damon Evans. Brilliant. Brilliant. Flood the game. Don't put 1 fucking record out. Put 100 out. Because there's 1 billion songs on iTunes. How they gonna find you?
Right.
You know, I got that 1. Okay, let me know how they find you. You know, because I still got to cut that check to Leilani, the radio rep who does radio. I got to shoot her money. Then I got to come up with another 10 grand to make sure the DJs are good. Nowadays, we're in a market where it's like, you know what, let me just keep pushing these videos.
Right.
You know, are you learning that radio is just kind of dying out?
I don't think I've ever had anything come even close to the radio.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Even if you felt it was a radio single, you just didn't.
I mean, when I was with Atlantic, like that would have been the thing that they were dealing with, and I didn't really ever get too deep in all that.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, it's when I have to decide. And I do got to, because you know, when you know you have a radio song and you have a clear shot, you got to spend the money. When people don't understand, if you don't spend money, you're not gonna make it.
Right.
And you got to make sure you're willing to fuck off about 100 grand. Yeah, I mean, and not everybody's got that.
Facts.
So.
Man, this has been a great conversation. I feel like I actually kind of feel guilty about the fact that I'm sick right now, and I took fucking, like, I don't know what the fuck it was. My girl gave me some pills earlier, and I'm just like feeling like I normally would be a little bit more upbeat, but man, this has been a really interesting conversation.
You know, brother, I appreciate you having me. I was like at first, like, yo, what does he want to talk about? And if you notice, I didn't sing you no cliff notes or no, this is what I want to talk about.
Nah, yeah.
This is literally like 2 cats that ain't never met. They're sitting at a fucking coffee bar, and it was like, that's your bike out there? Well, it wouldn't be coffee involved, but we're at a bar, and we just shot the shit. Right. And that's what I do find interesting about your channel, because I remember at first it was about weed, and it was about you and your old lady and your first threesome. Show you I've been following. And you just being like, yeah, shit happened. It was great. And you disappeared, and like, you just got a charisma about yourself, man, that, you know the index finger story. When you point your finger at one, you got 3 pointed back at you.
Okay.
Until you accept those 3, don't ever accuse anybody of anything. Well, if somebody points their finger and says, yo, Adam, blah, 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 well, the time that you're taking to talk shit about this man, you're going like this. Yeah, I'm good. I'm not even going to point my finger back. I'm going to go get some work done.
Right.
And what you've managed to pull off, I applaud you. You know what I mean? I live a life. Thank you to the IRS that's woken me up. I live a life very comfortable. I'm probably the most frugal, richest person you'll ever meet in your fucking life. I don't look at a car and go, I gotta have that. I look at a car and go, all right. You know, over and over and over again. I watch you, and I have not watched you floss not one fucking time. You know what I mean? Stick with that. Because the closest motherfuckers to you will be the first one to fuck you. You know, if these cats in this room are the ones that's down with you, stay with it. You know what I mean? When a motherfucker has time to sit here and talk shit about you, he's doing the index finger, you got to stop and go, the time that I'm about to give him to lash back, ask yourself, what is he doing while he's pointing that finger? You know, so you allow me to come here, man. Whatever. This was just shooting the shit. I'm not sitting here going, yeah, but the album. Yeah, but the album. We just shot the shit.
I'm going to press you about the Tupac stories next time.
I'll tell you. You know what? I'll tell you what. And it'll be on my dime. When you want to come out to Arizona,
oh, I like that idea too, yeah.
and just come, and you'll be blown away if you go to Cave Creek. You'll be like, are we in fucking Texas? You know?
Right.
And, you know, they're real serious with the greenery, and I know you know,
We got
clear up your, except for me. But I will tell you, when you come to Arizona, I'll tell you the same thing Dr. Dre did with DeMizza. Dr. Dre asked DeMizza to break the white boy, who was Eminem. And he said, tell me the NWA story. Here's what I vow to you. And I swear this on my kids, man, I die today. I'll say it again. I never told the whole story. You show up to Arizona, and I'll tell you the whole story. And it'll be on my dime. I'll book your room, everything.
Oh, yeah.
I just don't want to record. No, if I say it once, I mean it once. I just don't want to record it. So when I'm dead and gone, and I'm going to show you the pictures. Why you? Because I don't do, with the exception of the other cat I did something with, that was just growing up in L.A. And, you know, he asked me about dating Sammy the Bull Gravano's daughter, no weird shit like that. This has just been cool.
Yeah, I appreciate
you know what I mean?
this.
So I give you my word. You make it out to AZ, I'll tell you the whole story.
Shit.
And I'll show you video that nobody has seen on Tupac.
Wow, really?
That will change the whole fucking story. And I'll give you a hint. For every video shot, just know there's another one that had nothing to do with Death Row.
Really?
And I have those.
Amazing. Fuck, I'm ready for that.
I'm there.
Big Kaz, I feel like we're going to be friends.
Hey, man.
Let's stick together.
Just don't tell anybody. Anybody asks, I'm a piece of shit. No, I'm not a piece of shit.
Nah, I think you're just won over anybody who might have had qualms about you.
You know, man, if you can live life and leave somebody with something, that's evolution.
Right.
You know, if you're an asshole, then accept that. I hope people just go, hey, man, he's all right, dude.
No, definitely. That's the impression I got for sure.
Thank you for having me. Make sure you wear that gear, man, when you get some time.
I will, no doubt, yeah.
And maybe somebody will stop and go, don't point more guns at him.
Yeah. Maybe that'll help.
I saw those.
All right, yo. Big Kaz, I appreciate it, man. It's been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much. No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Check us out on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes.
Oh, can I say my social media? I'm getting good
Of course, yeah. We'll have it on the screen everywhere.
Instagram, GUILLERMOBIGCAZ, Guillermo Big Kaz.
Okay.
And then YouTube is just Guillermo Elan, GUILLERMO, last name EILAND. That is my YouTube.
It's good for me to meet another Guillermo because there was a Guillermo we were in high school with, and we used to sneak up behind him with the air compressor while he was in class. This big fat Mexican kid, and we would fucking blast it in his face, and the fucking fat face, like his skin would be flying everywhere, and we thought it was the funniest thing in the world.
He's probably a cop now.
I'm being honest. I know cops aren't always the smartest guys, but I don't know if he had the IQ to be a cop.
Like I said, he's probably a cop.
All right, yo, Big Kaz, I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Brother.